Let us begin by looking at our rough drawing here. And we will go over the lines with this black woodless pencil, which is basically a color pencil wrapped in plastic. It's very soft, and I'm making these strokes very light and loose. I shouldn't say light, but I'm not using a very heavy hand while doing these strokes, and just making it very easy flowing lines, describing all the forms. It's not a very exacting type of style that I'm going for here with this character. Like I said before, this character is loosely based on the drawing styling of a New Yorker cartoonist, Lee Lorenz, whose work I like a lot. As you can see, I'm not being very precise with this because his style does not really demand that type of precision work. When you see his work in the magazine, usually it looks like it's been done with a brush dipped in ink. Lines are not always closed off, and it's very rare that you'll find a line that is like a Disney feature thick and thin line. So the whole character is kept very rough. After looking at what this drawing is, and as you can see underneath, you can see the initial drawing design of the character underneath. So let's go for our next extreme drawing, where the character's leg is up in the air, and this would be the passing pose. And again, I'm keeping it very loose when I do these strokes. I'm not sitting there and really getting very precious about each and every line that I put down. It's very fast strokes. Describe here the leg. That's the far leg there. And he's a little bit up on his toes there as he's doing his passing pose. I shade in that leg because that's the far leg. Go up here and darken the ear, the eyebrow. Now here I'm checking to see where these forms need to be. If I was going to do this in a very precise way, I would have made one drawing of the head and just traced it back on every sheet of paper. Would have just been a trace back. But by keeping it loose like this, when it is actually compiled into a cycle, it will have more life, because forms will not be so cookie cutter perfect. It'll have a look of a human touch to it, instead of like I said, cookie cutter perfection of tracing every drawing, so every drawing is exactly the same. Like I said, I'm being very loose with this. I have been doing this a long time, so I'm not concerned with trying to please some supervisor who will send it back and say, well, you missed here and you missed there, and that form there and the volume is not right. That on this type of assignment, that type of thing doesn't matter. The assignment you get working for somebody on a big, gigantic project picture, that's when you have to worry about that. But when you're doing stuff like this for yourself, you can be as loose and fast as you like. Here again, shading in that far leg. And now let's describe the arm. It's a flat character, but yet I cheat and give him some volumes. I don't use an eraser on this project here this time, but believe me, I've worn out my share of erasers, and to this day still using them. I just am leaving all the lines that are too long or a little bit out of place, I'm just leaving them there, just to keep it looking a little bit more down to earth and human looking, human designed. If you wanted to get really precious about this type of drawing, I will do an example of what that would look like with this type of character, just so you can see how you could spend close to an hour doing one drawing for this type of thing. I just don't happen to feel that for this particular project we need to do that, so that's why it's going relatively fast here. There's the other passing drawing where his leg is lifted up. You'll notice I lifted his leg up really high just to exaggerate the whole walking movement for this. His leg doesn't have to be up this high. I could have left it down pretty low to the ground to make it more natural. But by doing it like this, it's giving him a little bit more character and a little bit more quirkiness that he's walking this way. So now let's flip the drawings. There's one, there's the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one. So we'll be in betweening these next time.